Ready to go.
Did you do like a house lighting? You know, everyone gather around.
Right. Well, I had to test myself because you don't want to embarrass yourself.
Yes,
if one or two lights are out, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
Guys,
test it yourself, then you bring the family out to see it all.
Jim, I know we're a little behind this year.
There's a few things.
Hashtag
There are companies that do that, though. Should you not want to take on that task?
Yeah.
I'll leave my comments about that to myself, but I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Give you a little extra time, maybe put some lights up for the day. We'll take it over from here. Here's a look at what is happening today from 9 till noon. So you're ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
All right, welcome everyone here. Good morning, happy Monday. Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast. Alex, welcome back.
Yes.
Your travels okay?
I feel like I haven't been here in like a month.
It's been a while.
I hope I remember how to do this.
Like riding a bike, Alex.
I guess it is. No, great times, good times with the family. Got a chance to travel a little bit out there. So yeah, fun times.
Yeah, hopefully we can get into some of these travel lines that we've been tracking out and checking out for you. Weather-wise, I have to say, overall, I feel like we did pretty good. A lot of rain on the front side. Yesterday, there was some rain in the Northeast, but, I mean, L.A. traffic is...
Is that now?
This was last night.
Okay.
But
Oof.
last week, we saw LA traffic, grapevine actually kind of snaked all around, and we thought it was holiday lights. It was like back to back to back, like someone had strung red lights. No, it was just traffic.
That is the stress of the holidays.
Yeah.
Why do we put ourselves through that? It's so crazy.
New England has been busy here in the last 24 hours. Here, the system is slowly, well, I would say it's quickly moving out here, but it's still with us into northern New England, still snowing up to northern Maine. A lot of us have finished with this system, but now we get into the lake effect.
Yeah, that's going to be the main player here for us in that sort of northeastern quadrant of the country, watching right around those lakes. Well, a coast-to-coast storm,
the low visibility, you saw that around Muskegon, Michigan, where it was very low visibility. It could be like that and worse, even in more spots. So let me show you where we're at right now. It's a very classic lake effect pattern, cyclonic flow, as we call it here, when you kind of just get the flow that goes like that in around the low or the cyclone. And, you know, we are looking at these winds moving over water temperatures that are still relatively warmer compared to the air above it. So we've got lake effect coming in off of Superior, off of Lake Michigan, coming in off of Lake Huron. We've got a little bit kind of sloppy coming in off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario somewhat. But that's, I think, over Ontario and Erie going to organize a bit more as we get into the next 24 hours. And we will see the lake effect there really start to kick in. Again, cold air aloft is the feature that we are watching here. And that's just continuing to move right over the lakes. It's windy, again, that cyclonic flow. These are all things that we look for in terms of clues to what's going to be a more intense lake effect event. Water temperatures are in the 40s. Air is much colder than that here, especially you go up here a couple thousand feet. So some of those bands right now that have been persistent, and that's what you watch for when it comes to lake effect snow forecasting, is watch the bands, see where they're setting up, where are they persistent. This one coming in right here. This one is almost a multi-lake band, a little bit off of Lake Superior and then off of Lake Michigan in northern lower Michigan. So that's going to be an area, Traverse City, up north of there, just south of Alpena. Then we also have kind of a sloppy pattern right now. I checked Dunkirk, New York to see what was happening. You had some light rain this morning. Temperatures about 36, 37 degrees. Buffalo, you've had snow, though, at 36. We'll see some of that here today, but I think into tomorrow is when we really start to see the amounts pick up. So let's play it out. You'll see some, again, little scattered activity through today, picking up through the later hours today, watching that wind direction. If we get this southwest wind, that'll bring the snow a little more into Buffalo. When it turns a little more west or northwest, that's when it'll go to the south towns of Buffalo. So we'll keep an eye on that wind direction there pretty closely. That happens for you into Tuesday. Look at that northwest wind, again, south of Buffalo, Jamestown, New York, one of the spots to watch. Coming in here off of Lake Ontario, too, we're likely to see a lake effect, a snow band setting up here, and that could be adding up here. We could be talking significant snow. You know, it'd be in the localized areas. Not everyone gets it, but it could be more than a foot plus there in the Tug Hill Plateau, Alex.
All right. Another tier of the country where wet weather is expected there.
It's a pretty busy week, especially middle to end of the week here. So I'm standing in New Orleans using our virtual view technology. Sun today looking good, right? A little chilly side, but looking good. Now by Thursday night, that will all give way to some clouds and rain. Some of the rain could be quite heavy at times. Thunderstorms are a possibility. All different features that we got to look out for here as we see this midweek pattern shape up to be pretty active. New Orleans, look at your forecast. Starting with some showers coming in on Thursday and then then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've got the chance of storms. You know, there's still some uncertainty in the exact way this forecast is going to play out. So we'll talk about that here. Look at what's coming our way. Just first of all, a reminder how much we need the rain. The exceptional drought here has really not gone away across any parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, the Tennessee Valley. We are dry, still the extreme drought up there, and even exceptional drought in spots like East Tennessee. Now, as we watch the forecast for rainfall, though, and see all of this coming in, it could be quite beneficial. This is the European model showing a heavy rainfall here starting Wednesday into Sunday timeframe, but it won't be all every single day there. We'll be watching for rain, potentially heavy at times. The GFS model is a little bit different, a little farther south with exactly where the heavy rain is, maybe not quite as much, but still both are showing us some signs of heavy rain. So there's confidence in that. The devil in details, though, which does matter, I know, to your outdoor plans here, is still yet to be determined. But to look at some options for how things could play out, starting on Wednesday into Thursday, we've got the rain spreading up here through South Texas, in through Louisiana, and then up into Arkansas. As we get you into Thursday and Friday, some of that could be heavy at times, which could mean some flash flooding concerns. We'll watch for that. And then we take it Thursday, Friday into Saturday, watching. There's two features here that we're keeping an eye on. The first one comes in through Friday, watching this through the southeast. Then right on its heels is another one coming in for Saturday. So then we've got more rain coming in after that. First system, though, could bring that potential for heavy rainfall, possible flash flooding, already outlooking that into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, parts of the Florida Panhandle. Again, remember that Saturday system I talked about, that is right here already covering the entire southeast with that potential for rain. Some of it could be quite heavy at times, and that actually extends all the way into Sunday. So that is at least a 2-day rain event for you, maybe even 3. Birmingham, we've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with showers, possible thunderstorms here, especially as we get into that Sunday time frame. It's not going to rain necessarily consistently all through Friday into all of Saturday here, but I think there'll be a break maybe late Friday, or at least the second half of Friday, before we get back into the rain on Saturday. Tallahassee, we've got thunderstorm chances here, and it may be all day Friday and then again scattered on Saturday and Sunday. The chance for storms, yes, that's very active subtropical jet, Alex, here. We got that going with us through the entire second half of the week into the weekend. Yeah. Then it goes north.
It sure does.
Interesting perception.
Yeah, we'll see if that sticks around.
That cloudy.
Exactly. I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to turn back to the normal there soon. Well, you can go to Threads to send us your comments and share your pics and video with us using the hashtag YesTV. Yeah, because we just had so many weeks where maybe we cool down 1 or 2 days, but then it warms up again. It's a pretty chilly week. We're running below average. Yep, here we are. Check it out today and look at some of these highs. I mean, we're stuck in the 20s. Minneapolis down towards Chicago here for today. I have to keep double checking. Wait, these are highs? Yes. These are high temperatures. So, and your highs are going to stay below 40 for 132 million of you today, 87 million tomorrow, Wednesday, 27 million. So in theory, it improves a little bit, but look, you're still going to be below average, just maybe not that cold. Exactly. So yeah, this is still going to be a week to bundle up out there. And the thing about it, it's not just the northern tier. How about farther south? So look at some of these lows this morning. They're across west of the Mississippi. 26 in Tulsa, 29 in Little Rock. It's cold times. Yeah. Now, Florida, this morning we dropped down to 50 in Tallahassee, only warming up to 61 degrees today. And the cold air is on the move. I've been watching it kind of go south on those north winds. You can hear them outside your window whistling with that cold air continuing to surge southward. Not even getting out of the 40s today in a spot like Nashville for the day. So this is certainly below average for quite a few of us. Along the Gulf Coast as well, I mean, 5 to 15 degrees below average. Yeah, so it's not like it's record-breaking. Right. It's just, cooler, much cooler than it's been. Tomorrow morning, I got a lot of 30s out there, a few more spots in the 20s, like around Nashville. You've already hit your freeze before, so it's not like that would be a first freeze, but Tallahassee hasn't done it yet. Yeah, we got Florida in the mix here, and these are some areas who haven't done it. We'll have at least a chance this week to reach that mark. This is Wednesday morning. There you go. 31 degrees. And then, again, that's the one where we've got, Asheville going down to the teens. Yeah. Raleigh's going to be in the low 20s. Atlanta's dropping to the 20s. There's a plant I'm trying to save. I better do it today. Get it out of the ground. Exactly. This is going to be one of those mornings. The good news is you see it doesn't last too long. We're kind of moving in the up direction as we march our way in towards kind of that Thursday morning time. All right. So Tallahassee, again, that Wednesday morning, you're coldest, but Thursday morning is pretty darn close to that. Yeah, it's 32 not too degrees. Far off. Yeah. Be prepared. Of course, don't forget,
going coast to coast. And let's start with that. We're going to fast forward to the end of the week. And this is when, keep an eye on here in the Pacific Northwest here. We've got two systems back to back coming in, very active northern branch of the jet stream up here. A lot of moisture in this. Comes in, starts Thursday. Another system right on its heels on a Friday. You'll barely know that one has ended before the next one comes in. That comes in, and then a piece of that kind of comes down and south here, that first system anyway. And we'll have to keep an eye on how that impacts you into Colorado, into maybe even New Mexico here. That's this snow. Now, we're also going to see significant moisture with 3 to 5 inches of rain coming in to coastal areas of Washington, Oregon, even northern California, and snow in the Cascades, adding up both Washington and Oregon. Very heavy there. Pass level will be impacted. Be ready for some travel issues as we get through the weekend there. Meanwhile, some snow spreading in into Idaho yet again. You've had a very snowy start to the season. There is more coming in and down to the Wasatch as well. Now, that first system, again, a piece of that energy comes down along with our active southern branch of the jet stream here. And how those two work together is still TBD, to be determined. But we do know with this active southern branch of the jet stream that we're going to have moisture and we're going to have rain, and that's coming through the southeast. Again, two systems here back to back pretty quickly, one on Friday, the next one on Saturday, barely a break between them. You see that rain come in through Louisiana into Mississippi up to Tennessee, all the way through the Carolinas. This is your Sunday. Yes, a pretty rainy weekend here. I hope you did all those decorations last weekend, because this one's going to be tough to find some dry times to get out there. It could be quite heavy amounts all the way from Texas to South Carolina, where we could have heavy rainfall. That's the European model. The GFS model showing us some heavy rain too, but further south here, so not exactly lining up. The weather systems and the energy aloft isn't lining up all the same here on the GFS model, but still that potential is there. So you want to make sure you keep tuned to this forecast and for changes coming into it. Meanwhile, you go to the north and east, and we've got our systems coming in, and by the time we get to the end of the week, we'll have a lot of chilly rain spreading in all through parts of the northeast, starting in the Midwest and then eventually spreading to the northeast by the end of the week. Disasters to occur in a single year since record keeping began, totaling more than $73 billion in damages.
Now, with just over a month left in the year, experts are predicting the total of annual insured losses from natural disasters could surpass more than $100 billion.
Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re, Steve Bowen, joins us now with a closer look at the trends leading to this alarming stat. Steve, thanks for joining us. Always good to have you on the show to check in on this. 2023 on pace to be the 6th year in a row to exceed $100 billion in insured losses. So what are the total losses to date?
Yeah, so we've actually surpassed 100 billion.
We didn't really have a gangbusters hurricane season. We had the one,
Idalia.
But overall, I mean, it could have been a lot worse in terms of these billion-dollar
It feels
disasters.
very overwhelming.
It does, it does. So I have to ask, should we just accept this now? This is now the 6th year in a row getting over 100 billion. Is this the new normal?
I think it is, right? I mean, we try not to say.
To mention, the cities themselves that need to recover from these big events. So what does this mean for insurance? What implications could these natural disasters have on insurance?
Well, it's continuing to cause.
Just a bit left in the year. What are the expectations here for the remainder of the year now that we're kind of closing the book on the hurricane season, winter season upon us?
Yeah, all eyes are on El Nino there.
Steve Bowen, Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re. Thank you so much for your perspective and joining us today. Always appreciate it. And it is interesting, Alex, just looking back at some of the billion-dollar disasters, winter storms rarely make the list. It's the severe, it's the hurricanes, it's the wildfires.
As we were just hearing, right? It's one of those things where we think, oh my goodness, they can be very impactful to us, but in terms of the damage and the losses, Well, as hurricane season comes to a close, soaring in
donation if you want to do it. And there's displays of some replicas of historic Delray Beach buildings. So cool.
Sign me up.
I know, it seems really cool. It's up all month long. The tree comes down January 1st. Weather today, it looks nice, a little cooler than it was this weekend here, and that'll be a trend you'll see every day, just a little cooler.
All right, I like that. I'm all about the holiday times and the spirit you get in there. Absolutely, good stuff, good stuff. And look at this week. Gonna get a chance to stay on the mild side.
I know. Go for the tree lighting, stay for the weather.
Exactly. All right, well, how about we, that goes around up and gets high enough that you can just, it's like right there in front of you. Just, I could stay up there forever. I could.
How often did it change?
I would say every lot going on, something
like,
different.
Will it go from a face to the American flag?
It went from like an emoji, the one that I was pointing, it went from that emoji to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just, it was
cool.
really cool. So I got my fill to the sphere, although heading back in March. It was so cute.
Weather looks good, a little on the chilly side.
I will say it was a little chilly. Chilly starts in the morning, but by the afternoon, there were those upper 50s to 60. Perfect.
All right, enjoy for going there.
Hours. Gonna get you ready for the big events here in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast here, and happy Monday to you all. Welcome back to the swing of things, back to reality, back to work, back to school, everything out there.
Yeah, so it's always tough after a long break to get back into the swing of things, and never fun when you have to get stuck in scenes like this. This was last evening, LA, right around the airport. Woo! A lot of brake lights.
I mean, that's when you start to get worried, like, am I going to make my flight? Not because of inside lines, outside lines.
Exactly, because once you get out of this, then you do have to deal with the inside line. So it's very stressful.
2.9 million is what TSA screened yesterday. So I think that's a new record. I have to see if they verify it because there's probably a change. But June 30th was the previous busiest day ever. 2.9 million.
I'm assuming that was because around July 4th-ish, maybe?
Yeah. So this might have done it.
Wow.
You were part of it. Congratulations.
Congrats.
You made it.
You did. Hopefully you made it.
Yeah.
Right? One other area that we've been watching is in the New England zone, where we've had to deal with a bit of snow, as well as some wet weather as well. You can see how that is now beginning to really lift northbound, and things are going to be drying out there. So quickly things improving here after a little burst of snow.
Yeah, everything moved through pretty quickly here. So I know you had some tough weather last night, but at least it's through now for your Monday. And then we have some lake effect behind that, which we'll talk about.
Absolutely. Well, how about a coast to coast?
Has that look about it. We are watching a low pressure system here up to the north, and around that you get this flow. We call it cyclonic flow. That's that instability that gets created because of that cold over warm effect there. So as long as we see these winds, continuing to move over the lakes like this here, this is going to be a thing for us in northern lower Michigan today. I think throughout the day. Watching right now, we've got this west wind coming in. South of Buffalo is where that band is set up. Could be some really reduced rates within there. Increased rates, which would make you have to reduce your speed on the roads. We've got lake effect snow warnings that are up Buffalo, south of there. Again, the south town's getting into the most of it, and it's east of Cleveland. So the traditional lake effect areas. We're also watching this area downwind of Lake Ontario here, and the Tug Hill Plateau will be piling up some snow as well. Watch the pattern today, and then watch what happens as we get into tomorrow as well. We still keep the lake effect going, and maybe even with that northwest wind here south of Buffalo, getting into some more intense bands continuing, and then into Wednesday, northern lower Michigan, still some chances going on here. It's really, I think, not until the end of Wednesday that maybe we get a break from this. But it's a pretty lake effect snowy pattern here for the first 3 days of the week. And it could be adding up between Erie and Buffalo, spots getting more than a foot. That's going to happen for you as well. Again, with that west wind coming off of Lake Ontario into the Tug Hill Plateau, right between Watertown and Syracuse. The biggest totals coming in there. Elsewhere, 3 to 5. And Alex, we always worry about that risk of low visibility. Lake effect snow, just one of the unique weather patterns around the Great Lakes, and meteorologist Carl Parker dives into why. Hosts either to see the rain this week in the southeast. Using our virtual view technology, I'm standing in Atlanta. It's going to be sunny today, but cool out there. We're going to be dodging some raindrops just in time for the weekend. The latter part of the week looks wet and actually stays wet into the weekend. So pretty soggy out there. All of your outdoor plans, your parties. I mean, this is the time of year where so much is going on, and a lot of it you'd rather have some good weather for, right? We've got Friday rain chances, and then we're going to see another system come in on Saturday. Some more rain comes in back to back like this. And then on Sunday, still the chance of rain and possibly some thunderstorms, actually, that we have to keep an eye on. So looking first, though, to see where we need the rain the most, the drought, especially in northern Alabama, northern Georgia, up into Tennessee. We've got the exceptional drought in cities like Chattanooga. So it would be well placed to get some rain there, and especially here across Louisiana and Mississippi. Again, the timing is just terrible. I know there's so much happening. You want to go get your tree, put on top of the car. It's all wet. You come into the house, it's a mess. We've got rainfall that could be quite heavy at times. This is one model, the European model, showing us where heavy rain really is widespread all through the southeast. The GFS has heavy rainfall. It's a little more confined to some of the southern part of these southeastern states. But either way, we know that rain is in the forecast. There's confidence in that. The exact details of these systems are still to be determined, how everything is going to line up in the atmosphere. So stay tuned for updates on some of the details. But looking ahead, we could see some heavy rainfall Thursday into Friday. That can mean flash flooding from East Texas to Louisiana. By Friday into Saturday, we're going to keep an eye on that system on the move through the southeast. Some of the heaviest stuff down here to the south, right along the Gulf Coast. That could lead to some potential flash flooding. So New Orleans again for a second day here. So again, Thursday into Friday, you're looking at that risk of heavy rain, potential flash flooding. And then the next system on Saturday, we'll have to keep an eye on this into Sunday as well. There may be some thunderstorm chances to the southeast. We'll see that potentially in Birmingham on Sunday. But again, Friday, Saturday, there'll be some dry times in here because it's two systems back to back. There'll be a brief break. But boy, this is a wet stretch that we're getting into. And Alex, of course, these systems move up to the northeast.
Yeah, that's about as nasty as it can get.
I know.
Well, it could get nasty.
Upper 30s, I suppose, could be worse. But those are the cases where you just kind of wish for snow, Well, we got the calendar about to flip over to December, and here they get a little Saharan dust in there, but it has been hot and dry. I was thinking about how I would describe this year. It would have to be dry. I mean, I feel like it just hasn't rained that much, even though when you look at our totals,
it's not that far off,
right?
It is weird, but there's a feel of it being on the drier side. It is kind of odd. Yeah, I would say it's just when you talk about the nation, just kind of the weird the weird weather that we've seen across the nation. It has been just weird.
It started off with the West Coast being California, especially being so wet this year. That was abnormally weird.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Well, keep your words coming. We are standing today. You got the coldest conditions right now. Great Lakes region, parts of the upper Midwest. That's where we're talking highs in the 20s.
Again, I had to double check. These are highs. Yes, these are the highs. It's all you're going to get to in Chicago is 26 degrees. Oof. Now, as we watch the temps over the next few days, look, today is a cold one. A lot of you not getting above 40, 132 million of you. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it does improve a little bit from that perspective.
Yes, absolutely. That doesn't mean there won't be any cold air to work with. We'll just see high temperatures get above 40 in these spots. But this morning, we woke up to a chilly start. Little Rock, it was 29 degrees, your low temperature this morning. Yeah,
we were down below freezing here in Louisiana, including Alexandria, 31. New Orleans made it to 46. Tallahassee, only 50. But we're going to struggle today to warm up a whole lot.
A bit of a whiplash on the way for us in terms of the temps. Getting up to 61, not too bad. Out there for you, but overall still a bit below average by about 5 to even 15 degrees here across the south.
It just, it was pretty mild last week, so you kind of got used to that. And now we're going to be chilly, really, for a lot of the week. We're going to the 20s in Nashville tomorrow morning. Little Rock getting close to freezing. Oklahoma City will be there. Not the first time.
Yes, exactly. Now, remember we talked Tallahassee, 51 this morning, 39 on Tuesday morning. And then by Wednesday...
Right, they haven't had a freeze yet. 31. There we go. Yep. Look at all those 20s.
That's a lot of 20s.
Deep into the south.
21 in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning is going to be one of those mornings where people are doing one of those numbers. Yeah.
45 in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, Thursday morning is still another chilly one. Maybe not quite as bad, but you still got a lot of below freezing temperatures. Raleigh, you're down there. Charleston, you're sitting right at 34.
Yeah. So, cold couple of days here for us. The good news is you can see things are going to start to warm up by Thursday morning. You got some 50s showing up there in a spot like Dallas.
All right, Tallahassee, here's how your week looks. So your temperatures tomorrow morning, 39, then Wednesday morning, 31, and we're still cold. We're still probably freezing at 32 degrees.
So forewarning now, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, give yourself a little extra time. Scrape off the windshield.
Yeah. Good call, Alex. Atlanta, tomorrow morning, 34. 29 on Wednesday morning. I'm already stressing about this. And then Thursday morning, 33.
I'm looking forward to it.
What?
I love a little chill in the air. This is fun.
I am most thankful for my garage on days like this.
I would see. I say that from the perspective of having the garage. If not, I might have a different tune to that.
And having it cleaned out so my car can get in too, right? That's part of it. Well, don't forget our question on the stream up there will give us a couple of systems back to back that bring in a lot of energy, moisture, etc. Now, by midweek here, so we're fast forwarding here to Wednesday into Thursday. This is about midnight. There'll be some chances, maybe some rain into into Southern California, and also at this point maybe watching a little bit of snow here into Arizona, New Mexico. But look at Thursday night. Now we really get into it here. So the track of the system coming in with the northern branch of the jet stream coming right in here to the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California here will bear the brunt of it with big amounts of moisture. And it's two systems back to back, one Thursday, then one again into Friday, and Saturday stays active out here. So snow at watching pass level over the Cascades. We'll be watching all the way down again into Northern California too for that rain, especially for traveling 5 from top to bottom. It is going to be wet. We've got 3 to 5 inches of rainfall here from western Washington, pockets of heavier rain maybe into southern Oregon and Northern California. And again, mentioned I-5 all the way down to Northern California. It's wet and it's a little more spotty with some rain chances perhaps down into the Bay Area as we get you here into the end of the week forecast. Snowfall amounts the heaviest up into the Cascades and again at highest elevations, but we'll be watching pass level through the week, just keeping a watch on those snow levels. We also have some heavy snow coming in through Idaho into maybe northwestern Wyoming, Jackson Hole. Get ready, more snow for you. And in Salt Lake City, yes, we've got more snow coming in this week here. It's been a good start to the season, right? Up there at Park City and Resorts. Now, to the south, as we watch our little pieces of energy, one coming in from the west here, but it's an active subtropical branch of the jet stream, too. So how everything comes together will certainly determine how stormy it gets at the end of the week here, because those chances are there. We've got, though, multiple rounds of rain coming in. Starts on late Thursday into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Still have rain chances in the southeast. Models are showing us differing amounts of how much could add up. The Euro is very wet with a lot of heavy rainfall here through the entire southeast. GFS is a little more. It kind of does a squeeze play further south, but you know, that's in the details here. Either way, some rain is coming on in. And then to the north and east, we've got a system again that is going to move through here, bring us the rainfall, and we will see mainly rain, more rain than we'll see any snow here through the Midwest and Northeast. $1 billion disasters to occur in a single year since record-keeping began, totaling more than $73 billion in damages.
Now, with just over a month left in the year, experts are predicting the total of annual insured losses from natural disasters could surpass more than $100 billion.
Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re, Steve Bowen, joins us now with a closer look at the trends leading to this alarming stat. Steve, thanks for joining us. Always good to have you on the show to check in on this. You know, 2023 on pace to be the 6th year in a row to exceed $100 billion in insured losses. So what are the total losses to date?
Yeah, so we've actually surpassed the $100 billion.
We didn't really have a gangbusters hurricane season. We had the one,
Idalia.
But overall, I mean, it could have been a lot worse in terms of these billion-dollar
It feels
disasters.
very overwhelming.
It does, it does. So I have to ask, should we just accept this now? This is now the 6th year in a row getting over $100 billion. Is this the new normal?
I think it is, right? I mean, we try not to say
it's a bit left in the year. What are the expectations here for the remainder of the year now that we're kind of closing the book on the hurricane season, winter season upon us?
Yeah, all eyes are on El Nino, right? I mean, we're now officially in a strong El Nino. That typically means more precipitation out west, or at least in some parts of the west. And, you know, we have seen this multi-decadal drought. And if we do get significant precipitation, that may enhance the potential for flood risk, say in California, landslide, mudslide, debris flow risk. So that's definitely one thing we're certainly paying attention to. And then obviously getting into the winter weather months, the potential for, you know, prolonged periods of cold, which can put additional strain on our electrical infrastructure. So that's what we're going to be looking for here the rest of the year.
Steve Bowen, Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re, thank you so much for your perspective and joining us today. Always appreciate it. And it is interesting, Alex, just looking back at some of the billion-dollar disasters, winter storms rarely make the list. It's the severe, it's the hurricanes, it's the wildfires.
As we were just hearing, right? It's one of those things where we think, oh my goodness, they can be very impactful to us, but in terms of the damage and the losses, Well, as hurricane season comes to a close, soaring
here's the bonus. You can tour the inside of the tree.
That's crazy.
Which I think is so cool.
That is wild. I mean, is it like, do you go up or is it just kind of on
No, I think you go up.
Wow.
I don't really know, though. I haven't been there. I really do want to see this one day. They've got animated replicas of historic Delray Beach buildings inside the tree. And you got a chance all December to see it. It stays up through the end of the month.
That sounds like a trip.
Yeah. And there's other things going on too. They do the menorah lighting coming up on Thursday the 7th, and then there's a boat parade on the 8th, and then the street parade on the 9th. I mean, it's a party.
All kinds of festivities, and the weather is cooperating this week. Absolutely. All right, well, why not head back out there? I plan to go inside to check it out, so I will report on the Sphere's inside.
So we both have spectacles that you can see from the outside and the inside.
How cool is that? We didn't plan that, by the way.
We didn't plan that at all. It just occurred to me.
Sometimes it happens. Forecast for us. Yes, coolish mornings, but by the afternoon, that was the case last week. It warms up, that sunshine gets you, and Vegas sun can be bright and hot. So there you go. Low 60s here for us the next few days with a chilly start in the morning.
I love that picture of you with a sphere behind you, and I'm very authentic when I say that picture was very authentic.
That's awesome. Well, we are here with you mid-morning hours through the mid-morning hours, getting you ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast, and really that's what we were watching over the weekend. There was a storm that went coast to coast, and luckily I think a lot of it got out of here by Sunday, although we still had some rain in the Northeast. Look, there were plenty of people though, so even without a big storm, I'm sure you had some delays.
That's the thing, right? We didn't have much going on in LA, but this was Sunday night, yesterday evening. Look at that. Right outside the airport, and there's a lot of folks in those vehicles getting close.
Yes. It was like that actually when I went to drop my family off on, was it Tuesday before Thanksgiving at the airport? Alex, it was like this at the Atlanta airport. I had thoughts of you when you missed all your flights, and I thought they were going to miss theirs. So traffic is a thing for sure. Weather-wise, we're going to be watching for some snow today. If today's your travel day, still left up in northern Maine, although most of the storm is gone. I mean, in fact, it's warming up too, so some of you are changing over. Well, I'm putting warming in quotes. It's warming above freezing.
Yes, exactly. To get you above having to deal with the wintry weather. So that'll be out of here. But now we got a coast-to-coast storm that's going to
along. You're in some low visibility like you see there in Muskegon, Michigan. Still snowing there up into northern, lower Michigan and the UP. We've got snow around Marquette. It's a very classic setup. First of all, the surface map. It's called what we call cyclonic flow. Kind of got this curved flow around the low pressure moving in cyclonic direction. Counterclockwise. We've got that flow coming over the lakes, which are unfrozen and still actually pretty mild. So the cold air aloft moving over the warmer water temperatures creates a very unstable effect where you get rising air and you get the clouds to form. Water temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s here. And so that's why we have this lake effect snow happening right now. You can see some of the streamers coming in right over Lake Michigan. Again, I love how they set up. I find it so fascinating, just like these streets of snow that are coming down. Now, it is very tough for driving because you might be in completely dry conditions with dry pavement and no snow, and then you run into some of these bands where the visibility can really drop very quickly, and that is so dangerous. You can run into the situations where you get the backups of vehicles because you just aren't expecting that big drop in visibility. So expect it today. That could happen. We're going to keep an eye on things for you across Michigan, coming with those bands coming off of Lake Michigan. We're also watching the snow bands coming off of Lake Erie and then off of Lake Ontario. That will be developing throughout the day today. Watching around that Tug Hill Plateau, snowfall amounts will really be adding up in some of these bands, potentially more than a foot. We got a chance of it again tomorrow, somewhat into Wednesday here. I think winding down throughout the day on Wednesday, but adding up more than 8 to 12 inches here again. Once we see those winds turn a little more to the northwest, this area between Buffalo and Erie, but including Erie, gets some of the big snow. West winds will give us the snow between Watertown and Syracuse, and about 3 to 5 inches still to come here into northern lower Michigan. A bit more up in the UP. We are running behind here with snowfall, so I suppose we are ready for it. Well, lake effect snow is just one of the unique weather patterns around the Great Lakes. Meteorologist Carl Parker dives into the causes and why areas on the eastern side of the Great Lakes are most affected. View technology, and beautiful day out here today, sunshine, temps running a little on the cool side, but by Thursday night that gives way to some rainfall, and some of that rain could be heavy. There could be thunderstorms. We're going to watch for this at the end of the week throughout the southeast. So New Orleans, we do need the rain. That is certainly something that we've been talking about nonstop. Rainfall comes in Thursday, continues into Friday with that chance for thunderstorms, and even on Saturday and Sunday we will still have scattered thunderstorms here through the area. So again, it's a busy week with the pattern that shapes up, a busy subtropical branch of the jet stream, bringing moisture right over the area that needs it the most, where the exceptional drought is in place through Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, northern Alabama in there as well, dealing with that extreme drought. And look how much rain is coming in. Now, this is one model solution. This is a European model showing us heavy rain, pretty far-reaching here, stretching from Texas to South Carolina. The GFS model has everything combined and squashed a little further to the south, but still heavy rain footprint. So it just has to do with how they're phasing the different branches of the jet stream. Details still to be determined right here as we're still several days out from this forecast. But we do know there's going to be rain, and in terms of the timing of it, it starts into your Thursday. Rain throughout the day, spreading through the afternoon into New Orleans. We'll get some of that into Jackson as we get into the later hours. Through, Thursday through early Friday, there's a chance of flash flooding here with the heavy rain potential. And then Thursday into Friday, we're going to see that system move through the rest of the southeast, bringing us some of the heaviest amounts right along the Gulf Coast. Both models are showing us that. And so that potential for flash flooding is there again. Then into Saturday, another system right on its heels. And so it's almost like there's no break between them. There will be a little bit, and I think maybe late Friday, you get a break in Birmingham, Montgomery, but then here comes more rain for Saturday, continuing Saturday night into Sunday. And yes, you've got a pretty wet time ahead here for all those holiday parties and the parades and the tree lightings that will happen this weekend. So sorry about that. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here with maybe even thunderstorm chances, Alex. Now we're worried about lightning out there.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Meanwhile, how about things tree weather, which is not unusual for us here to not have it right now.
Yeah, no, just kind of a chilly rain. So,
which is never fun, right?
No, and again, all the tree lightings and everything else that are happening. I feel like every day this week, someone's got one somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tough for the weather. Mm-hmm. Well, the calendar is about to flip over to December, and we know that.
See that, right? Yeah.
I would say in general, Florida's resting easy after this hurricane season, except for, of course, Cedar Key and the areas hard hit by Idalia.
Absolutely. All right, love it. Great words. Keep those words coming. All you have to do is share them with us. Head to Threads, and we'll share if you're right. Yeah, but hey, it can happen, and looks like this is going to be a year that we see it. Now, right now, the coldest of the cold right now is upper Midwest. That's where we're finding temperatures. And Jen, yes, these are just the actual temps, not wind chill. 20s, Chicago and Minneapolis.
Or lows every hour. I have to keep double checking. But, this is, it's going to be this cold today. We stay below 40 degrees for a high temperature for 132 million today. Tomorrow, it's 87 million. Wednesday, it's less. But I don't say everyone, but most are still below average.
Right, exactly. So here we are looking at this morning, and look at the numbers that dropped down a bit here. You got Jackson, Mississippi at 34. Yeah, 20s in Tulsa this morning.
I mean, it was 40 in Atlanta, but I feel like that was optimistic for it, like in terms of how it felt outside. It did not feel like 40.
It did not feel like 40. I will agree. Absolutely. In there. Well, take a look. Tallahassee, we want to point you out. Now, today, the high for us is going to be below average, 5 to 15. And that's a spot that has yet to get down to below freezing.
Yes. So tomorrow morning, 39. But, we're tracking down there all through southern Alabama, parts of the Florida Panhandle. We haven't hit freezing yet. Tuesday morning, 39. We've definitely got that chance by Wednesday morning.
Yep. How about that? 31 degrees. 28 showing up in Montgomery. That's your Wednesday morning. And Thursday morning, not going to be much better either. 32 degrees. So very similar story for at least 2 mornings in a row.
Okay, get ready for the chill. Well, let's get into this right now. It's definitely going to be tricky for travel. The next series of storms that we're going to watch go coast to coast, come in later this week. So we start the clock on Thursday. This is overnight Wednesday into Thursday. There'll be a little precip, some of it snow moving in through the southwest, including in Arizona and New Mexico. Keeping an eye on that. But you see a couple of storms come in to the Pacific Northwest here. Busy northern branch of the jet stream, which is going to be bringing in these storms with a lot of moisture in them, a lot of wind energy as well. We see that Thursday, then again on Friday. Look at this coming all the way down, spreading into Northern California. Some weather around the Bay Area in California, but that's probably as far south as it gets there. Looking ahead to your Sunday, you can see it doesn't really go too much farther than that, but it's still active throughout that area. So we see it busy across the west with large amounts of water vapor in these couple of systems. 3 to 5 inches of rainfall in the forecast. locally higher amounts. You see that in the bright orange. We're also watching for snowfall to be adding up, especially up at elevation in the Cascades. Traveling a pass level, be ready for that coming in through the weekend. Again, Thursday through Sunday is the time frame here. And also more snow spreading back into Idaho, Jackson Hole, Salt Lake City. We've got more snow coming your way at the end of the week into the weekend as well. Then we jump south, and we also have a couple of systems down here. Now, watching what's happening in the west, at the same time, we've got a pretty busy subtropical branch of the jet stream, which is going to bring in the moisture, bring in some disturbances too. Rainfall coming in Thursday, Friday. This goes through, brief break, and then Saturday, another system comes into the area and then gets re-energized on Sunday so that we see more active weather, more rain, and possible thunderstorms throughout the south. Now, some of this could be quite heavy at times. We've got rainfall heavy with the European model. It's not as heavy and a little farther south with the GFS, but both have some signs of seeing that bigger amounts of rainfall. And for some reason, every time I've shown this graphic today, the rain has not wanted to show up. But let me tell you, it will be there. And I can show you how that plays out here starting on Thursday. Throughout the day, the moisture comes up. It is rain. Chicago, we are warming up by the end of the week. Starting as rain, maybe finishing as some snow. Same thing for you in Detroit, but it just started as rain. And it's rain in Pittsburgh. It's rain in Buffalo. After your lake effect this week here, it's going to be all rain heading to Boston, too, by the time we get to through the weekend. This is Thursday to Friday. And again, the heavier amounts back more towards the south. Fairly light here throughout the entire rest of the Northeast. Billion-dollar disasters to occur in a single year since record-keeping began, totaling more than $73 billion in damages.
Now, with just over a month left in the year, experts are predicting the total of annual insured losses from natural disasters could surpass more than $100 billion.
Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re, Steve Bowen, joins us now with a closer look at the trends leading to this alarming stat. Steve, thanks for joining us. Always good to have you on the show to check in on this. 2023 on pace to be the 6th year in a row to exceed $100 billion in insured losses. So what are the total losses to date?
Yeah, so we've actually surpassed 100.
I think we didn't really have a gangbusters hurricane season. We had the one,
Idalia.
But overall, I mean, it could have been a lot worse in terms of these billion-dollar
It feels
disasters. Very
overwhelming.
It does. It does. So I have to ask, should we just accept this now? This is now the 6th year in a row getting over $100 billion. Is this the new normal?
I think it is, right? I mean, we try not to say.
And to mention, the cities themselves that need to recover from these big events. So what does this mean for insurance? What implications could these natural disasters have on insurance?
Well, it's continuing to cause.
Just a bit left in the year. What are the expectations here for the remainder of the year now that we're kind of closing the book on the hurricane season, winter season upon us?
Yeah, all eyes are on El Nino there.
Steve Bowen, Chief Science Officer with Gallagher Re. Thank you so much for your perspective and joining us today. Always appreciate it. And it is interesting, Alex, just looking back at some of the billion-dollar disasters, winter storms rarely make the list. It's the severe, it's the hurricanes, it's the wildfires.
As we were just hearing, right? It's one of those things where we think, oh my goodness, they can be very impactful to us, but in terms of the damage and the losses, Well, as hurricane season comes to a close, soaring.
Here's the bonus. You can tour the inside of the tree.
That's crazy.
Which I think is so cool.
That is wild. I mean, is it like, do you go up or is it just kind of on?
No, I think you go up.
Wow.
I don't really know, though. I haven't been there. I really do want to see this one day. They've got animated replicas of historic Delray Beach buildings inside the tree. And you got a chance all December to see it. It stays up through the end of the month.
That sounds like a trip.
Yeah. And there's other things going on, too. They do the menorah lighting coming up on Thursday the 7th, and then there's a boat parade on the 8th, and then the street parade on the 9th. I mean, it's a party.
All kinds of festivities, and the weather is cooperating this week. Absolutely. All right, well, why not head? We're going to head right back out there. I plan to go inside to check it out, so I will report on the spheres inside.
So we both have spectacles that you can see from the outside and the inside.
How cool is that? We didn't plan that, by the way.
We didn't plan that at all. It just occurred to me.
Sometimes it happens. Forecast for us. Yes, coolish mornings, but by the afternoon, that was the case last week. It warms up, that sunshine gets you, and Vegas sun can be bright and hot. So there you go. Those 60s here for us the next few days with a chilly start in the morning.
I love that picture of you with a sphere behind you, and I'm very authentic when I say that picture was very authentic.